Folks, we are live here at the Cowboys Report every Thursday. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central. Or if there's crazy breaking news, because stuff happens for the Cowboys a couple times in the past few months. And if you want to get on our Q&As on these mailbags, you got to watch the live show. It's the only way to make it work. So if you have not already, I want you guys to hit that big red button and subscribe today to the #1 Cowboys YouTube channel out there. To King J to begin things here. Aggressiveness wins. I like it. Time to go all in. Cut Crawford and Chris Jones. Sign Clowney with the money. You might have to pay a little bit more relative, but I'm open to it. Trade Connor Williams and a first for Adams. Okay. Bring Tavon back 1 year and explore the acquisition of Larry Warford to left guard. Interesting ideas here. I'll try and break these down one by one. I like the aggressiveness. I like Clowney. I like cutting Chris Jones. Connor Williams or McGovern, pick one of them. If that gets you Adams, I'm fine with it. Tavon Austin, sure. I don't think Larry Warford's going to move to left guard, so that's your issue there, but maybe you trust McGovern. In that case, it is kind of reducing some of your long-term possibilities, but I'm not going to fault the team for being aggressive, so I'd be all for it. All right, Gamer Killer 9, can't say that anymore. What do you think the Madden 21 overall will be for the Cowboys? About what it was this past year, like around the same. Offense will be a little bit better. Defense won't be as good, I suspect, at least on those Madden ratings. I'm not going to get Madden 21 because they refuse to help out the franchise mode. And what's the point then? All right, Dak Attack. How much impact does not having a rookie early training camp and shortened preseason have on Trevon Diggs? Does he have an edge over other rookies he comes from an NFL-ready college? So great question. I think that the lack of training camp has a bigger impact across the board than being from a pro-ready college. Diggs might come from a higher program in Alabama, but his issues, beyond just pure speed, was that he looked like a raw corner. He looked like a guy who had been playing receiver for much of his career and then moved to corner. So the lack of camp in the preseason, there is a very big difference between the level of receivers Alabama faced, even against Jamar Chase. He faced those guys maybe once every 3 games. He faces them every week in the NFL. There's a very big curve coming from Diggs. That's why I'm trying to pump the brakes a little bit on that hype train. From JG, what has to give so that we finally make a run to the playoffs? Oh, look, we did get a JG question there. See, patience, my friend. That ends up working out for you. Finally gives so they make a run to the playoffs. Look, if I can fix one thing on this team, I'm going to give you 2 because I'm a cheater. Number 1, special teams cannot suck anymore. It has been bad for too long. That must change under John Fossil. Number 2, got to get more takeaways. That's a key thing, especially with the defense that's going to have some issues. Now, speaking of playoffs and Super Bowls, will the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy? 1 for yes, 0 for no. I want to remind everybody that it is a lot harder to win a Super Bowl than what we really want to admit. It simply is. If it were so easy, Eagles would have won one before a couple years ago, and the Cowboys probably would have won one more recently too. So I'm going to type in my 1 because I want to speak some positivity into the universe, but it's not a guarantee. So I see mostly 1s coming in. I respect the optimism. It's my mindset as well. But it is going to be tricky, and it's not going to be anywhere near as easy as you might otherwise think. I've actually done this King J one, but we'll do it again here because there are actually 2 King Js. This next one, yeah, go to that one. Bad teams with a star cornerback that we could trade for. Aren't that many. The Patriots, as I told you guys, aren't going to fully trade away Stephon Gilmore. If the Cardinals suck, maybe Patrick Peterson. The problem is that even if there's a bad team with a star corner, the corners don't always end up getting moved. I mean, obviously Darius Slay did. Chris Harris got cut. I just think it's going to be a lot tougher to find a true willing and able trade partner than it is in Madden, for example. So Peterson's the one that sticks out in my mind. Maybe you can find somebody else. Maybe there's a surprise tanking team in the middle of the year, but we'll end up seeing. All right, Saul Tellez III. Great question. Great question. Who gets more catching yards this year, Blake Bell or Tony Pollard? So I'm going to go with Pollard. I think there is a better than called average chance that Bell is tight end 3. Tight end 3 is going to get like at most 100 yards for this team, at most, which Pollard had last year. And I think you're going to see Tony Pollard have more involvement in the passing game this year. I think you'll see him have more than 15 catches. So great question. That's a good either or. I'm going to go with Pollard. And a long time, first time. Glad to have you, Saul. Or Sal, excuse me. All right, Nolan. Hey, Tom, will CeeDee Lamb end up being a top 10 or top 5 receiver in 5 years? And will all the other teams that passed on him regret it? I certainly hope so. I hope that is what ends up happening. I hope that's the case. That maybe it's not quite true top 5. Maybe it's more like top 10. That they're able to pull that off. They're able to make him into a top. I take top 10 pretty damn quickly. Maybe top 5 upside is plausible. And I think, yes, there will be some regrets on players who pass on him, or from teams who pass on him. So favorite current Cowboys player, who is it? Let me know in the comment section. Maybe it is CeeDee Lamb. Maybe it's Dak Prescott, as Dylan coughs behind the scenes. That's not good, Dylan. He's coughing into your arm, though. I see some Daks coming in here earlier. So, if you guys want a Cowboys jersey, they are 25% off. Chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. Check the comments. Check the description. That link's in there. They got more than just Dak, by the way. They got Zeke, some Jalen Smiths, Amari Cooper as well. Whole bunch of variety, different colors and styles, all of that. And they're 25% off right now. So head over, check it out. Chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. You will not find an official Nike jersey any cheaper than you will right there at chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. Rashard Lee, you think Dak throws for 4K again? I do. I do think Dak throws for 4K, not 5K, but I think 4,000 is in his future there. All right, Luis Hernandez. Look, I'm going to reject the premise here for your question. The Cowboys are not going to trade Lael Collins. It does not make sense from a monetary perspective. When you have at minimum top 5 player at his position, because he is a top 5 right tackle, if not top 3 or top 2 right tackle with Lane Johnson right now, you don't trade that player away when they just signed a team-friendly deal. So they are not going to move on from Lael Collins. It's simply not going to happen. Now, if you have to find someone else to play tackle, I would explore Connor Williams, though. Alexander Forte. How much harder does the shortened preseason make it for the coaching staff to build this roster? It complicates it. It certainly does. It's also a complication that every NFL team faces. So it is an even playing floor in terms of where we're at and in terms of what every NFL team is dealing with. But it does complicate it. It makes it tougher. It really does. It's going to make it a tricky situation for Cowboys to deal with, because this is a coaching staff that doesn't know these players. And that lack of familiarity, it's going to make it a bit more of an advantage, not a massive one, but a little bit more of an advantage for those who have been around, have some continuity, which the Cowboys don't have right now. Jeremy Carter wants to play over-under. Will DeMarcus Lawrence get 10 sacks this year, over-under? I'm taking the over there. I know Tank did not put up the sack numbers we expect out of him. Tank was not bad last year. Was he as good as the Cowboys needed him to be? No. But I'm not going to put most of the blame on Tank. He remains a fantastic pass rusher, an elite run defender. He is going, I think, to get, I'll put the over-under at 10.5 and not 9.5. I think the over. Cast your votes for me, over and you for under. Now, speaking of Tank, he could be an answer to this question, but I have a different one in mind. The best player right now on the Dallas Cowboys, not most valuable, not most impactful, just the best player right now on this Dallas Cowboys team. For me, Zach Martin. I think that's what producer Dylan just said. He's right. It is Zach Martin. That is a Hall of Famer. Like when Zach Martin retires as difficult as it is for guards to get into the Hall of Fame, that's what is going to happen for Zach Martin. He is that good. So I see a lot of Zach Martins coming in. I think that is the exact right answer. All right, Cowboys franchise. Near the deadline of 2021. So I assume you mean the franchise tag deadline, or the trade deadline of 2021. If Pollard keeps getting better, the Cowboys trade Elliott. How much could we get for him? Probably will never happen. The problem with trading Zeke is that if you trade him before the end of the 2021 season, it doesn't make sense money-wise. That deal is structured in a way where it would actually cost more in dead cap money, you have to pay a player no matter what, than it would cost in terms of just his base salary and his cap hit this upcoming year. So in terms of moving on from Zeke, it's not going to happen until like 2022 at the earliest. Like, that's the earliest that window really opens up. So, sorry. Destroyer Dog, and I do want to get to King J's McCarthy Pederson super chat. Which rookie will ball out this season? I mean, CeeDee Lamb, right? I'm hopeful it's a Neville Gallimore or Bradley Anae or Trevon Diggs, but I think it's going to end up being CeeDee Lamb. I think he might have 800 yards receiving, which is crazy for a first-year receiver. Like, I'm picking CeeDee Lamb all the way through here. I think Lamb is the obvious selection on that one. The bat, over 10 touchdowns total for Zeke Elliott. Look, touchdowns can be a little bit inconsistent, but I'm going to go over. I think Zeke is going to get the over on that number. I think he'll be involved in the passing game still. Maybe it's only 3 in the passing game, but then all of a sudden, boom, it's just 7 touchdowns. So, yeah, I'm going to take the over there. All right, King J. Better coach, McCarthy or Pederson? Hate to say it, but I think the Eagles got better. Both teams being healthy could come down to better coaching. I think that the difference between McCarthy and Pederson is significantly less than the clear difference was between Pederson and Garrett. And the Cowboys were still beating Pederson more often with Garrett than they were McCarthy. So I think the better coach is Doug Pederson. I don't think McCarthy's a bad coach by any means. But I'll tell you what, the Eagles, that assistant coaching staff, guys, has really lost some key pieces. That's a big factor there. Those losses, departures do matter. So coaching, bit even. I'm still going to give the edge to Philly, though, but not enough that makes me think the Cowboys still won't win the NFC East. Speaking of the NFC East, or at least winning it, Cowboys record. What will it be? Cast your votes for me in the comment section. How many games, what will the overall record be for the Cowboys? I've put the over-under at around 10.5 wins. Maybe it's 11-5. I think I went with 10-6. I see 12-4 coming in early and often right now. Keep those votes flowing. What you think the Cowboys record will be this season. All right, next up here on our live Q&A, waiting to get the ones in, so I'll get some shout-outs here. Xylora. Okay, here we go, John. What do you think are the starting 5 on the offensive line? Well, I mean, you have 3 guaranteed set-in-stone locks. Tyron Smith at left tackle, Lael Collins at right tackle, Zach Martin at right guard. Beyond those 2, center is an open competition. I think Joe Looney will start week 1. If Connor Williams is healthy, I think he starts week 2. I think you got 4 main contenders for those 2 spots. Biadasz only really at center, McGovern at either role. For now, I am going to go with Williams and Looney as the starters, but you can talk me into McGovern, and you can talk me into Biadasz as well. I think either of those guys are certainly possible outcomes for the Dallas Cowboys. I think that makes sense for Dallas. So 3 locks, 2 open-ended ones. We'll have to wait and see what exactly it ends up looking like. Certainly going to be a difficult battle for both of those jobs. And frankly, competition will be a good thing in the end for the Dallas Cowboys. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.